Ipswich Buses, your local bus company serving your football team. Buses run every 10 minutes. Avoid the traffic. Don't get stuck in the delay. Get Ipswich Buses today. A single from only £1.20, a return from only £2. Find out more information at www.ipswichbuses.co.uk. Ipswich Buses, proud to partner with Talking Town. Hello again, my friends, and you are my friends, and welcome to this, your Monday night Talking Town Extra Time. I'm, of course, your host, The Gov, and I'm looking forward to today's show. We have got Neil Perks joining us early doors. We have got Colin joining us early doors, both who didn't get on from yesterday's Talking Town flagship podcast. We've got Tom and Callie, as you saw on the introduction screen there, to give us their thoughts, and, of course, live chat and another live link for you to have your say on anything you may have thought of post Portsmouth, post the weekend. Obviously, now we're sitting on a Monday night. Irvin is in the chat, and Irvin is on holiday. Irvin, I hope you have a fantastic holiday. Bring me back some of that sunshine, please, my friend. We've got Ant Still, we've got Stephen Parry, Nick Muller, all in the chat. Mike D, YouTube member, thank you ever so much. We've got a new YouTube member, Heidi. Thank you, Heidi, for becoming a YouTube member. Welcome home. My friend Roy Clark's in the room. Rob Holmes, lots of people in the chat. Megan Fairweather, love to see it. Get your points and your opinions on your football team. Before we go any further, let's of course do our Prediction League. That's right, a whole host of you, and I do mean a whole host of you, were given points by Norwich. So Norwich give points to everybody, including those that play the Prediction League. Many of you picked up 3 points courtesy of Norwich, as did Leeds. This is the new league table after game week 28. Mike Wood, Stephen Davis, Ross Smith, Emerson Fairweather and Ben Moore. Emerson Fairweather back into the top 5. And some other movements there. I'll show you the rest of the table on the screen. But if you've not yet played or not played in a while, as you can see, only a couple of wins, such as Matt Phillips there, Cheatham McCheatson, gets you back onto page 1 and possibly in with the prizes. This week we've got 4 games. Oxford versus Ipswich, Colchester versus Forest Green, Cambridge versus MK Dons, and Brighton versus Norwich. So another 3 points to Brighton. And how quickly can Norwich get relegated? Let's wait and see. But yes, those are the 4 games. Link is now in the chat. Get active, get on it. 60 seconds, free to enter. And while you're entering, I will just once again praise our TT Fifth Stand Ultras. And if you're a TT Fifth Stand Ultra, which means if you've donated monthly through Ko-Fi, or if you are a YouTube member, you'll be on this board as well. Then tomorrow night, 8 p.m, we are live with the magician, the man, Martin Reusser. And because you're a YouTube member or a TT Fifth Stand Ultra, we want you to put your questions and speak to Martin directly. It's a live show. There'll be a live chat, but the link will be available for you. So if you do want to speak to Mr. Reusser, if you do want to ask a question, if you do want to know something, then of course, please do get in contact with me either through Ko-Fi, through YouTube, or through social media, and we can make that happen. Alternatively, if you're not yet on those boards, you can support us through Ko-Fi and get yourself on the board. And of course, you can then support the platform, which is a big win. And you can possibly ask Martin Reusser a wonderful question. Link for that is also in the chat. Frank Greaves, all looking good for next season. Just one thing I hope we sort out is a set piece coach. Yes, over 200 corners, would you believe? I believe, Frank. And not a single goal. Corners are a big part of the game, but despite ourselves getting so many, we are absolutely garbage at them. We absolutely are. Let's bring in our first contributor. He is, of course, royalty on the platform. Just don't mention Danny Cowley, for fuck's sake. Hey, man, I'm gully and techie. You want me, then check me. Just butt me, I'm ready. Is, of course, King Callie Bisler. Callie, get it out of the way nice and early. What do you think of Danny Cowley?
He's a cunt, isn't he?
Okay, there we go. We've got it out of the way nice.
Sky is blue, grass is green. Danny Cowley is a cheating little cunt. Let's go.
Yeah, well, okay, let's unpack that a little bit. He says, while that gif is in his head, you know, the one that goes, I'm feeling rather nervous now. You know the one. You know the one. That's been me all day. Every time I've thought about tonight's show, I've gone,
because of
I'm a bit nervous here. It could go either way. Obviously, the touchline incident. What are your thoughts on that? The touchline incident.
It's simple, really. Like, he's out of his technical area. I get it. Some managers are out their technical area for a little bit. The man was outside of his technical area most of the game anyway, right? And then, especially when there's a throw-in right there by the touchline, get back in your technical area. And if you look, as Thompson's going to throw it, he has a little glance, sees Thompson's going to go behind him, then he does that little pretend like, oh, I'm moving out of the way. Oh, you bollocks. You stepped in the way of him. What you did, you can call it cute or whatever. I'll say he's a cheating little cunt because it happened against us or whatever, right? Whether you want to call it shithousery or whatever. At the end of the day, he's a dickhead. He's a 46-something-year-old trying to thing with like Dominic Thompson or whatever who's 21. What's your point? Like, are you that tin pot that's what you need to do? Like, I don't get it. Like, we're chasing the game. We want to win. They're like dropping every like so many minutes so they can get bloody instructions on or whatever. Nah, that shit's. I don't like that. Football's meant to be free flowing and like, nah, I don't like him. I don't rate his team. I was not worried about the game, but thinking, okay, it'll be interesting because they've been in a bit of form. But nah, they're shit. Portsmouth are even we're that good, right? But then we just couldn't finish. But they are shit. And the way they, fair enough, they come to get a point, and the way they got their point wasn't because they equalised or they nullified us completely, right? It was because they were cheating on the floor. They were. I could have said something rude there, but no, it's before 9 o'clock and all the rest of it. So
cheating on. Well, you've already called him a see you next Tuesday before 9 o'clock, Callie. So I appreciate you falling short of going. What could be worse? In fact, I don't want to know. I don't want to know. I don't want to tempt that fate. Cruncher said he's a knob. Mike D loved the touchline spat. He thought it was brilliant. Stephen Perry, managers should not shithouse the players. Fair game at managers, not for me. McKenna was class. But McKenna ended up apologising, I believe, Callie.
Yeah, but he's one of those, though. Yeah, but that's just him to, like, kind of... That's the type of kind of guy he is. He's like that smooth over. I'll smooth it all over. No problems. It's not like he's saying, oh, yeah, we were in the wrong. He was just like, all right, cool, or whatever. Yeah, we apologise. Move on. Like, that's the kind of vibe I get from it. Because, listen... Thompson did nothing wrong, right? Okay, you can talk about, oh, he shouldn't have reacted. Bollocks. At the end of the day, having that on a football pitch is one thing, right? When the manager step into it, we all talk about, remember Alan Pardew, okay, he headbutted the man for Hull. But do you remember, he got involved on the sideline. So there's the things where managers shouldn't be getting involved. You cross that line. You stay in your technical area. Stay in your lane. Danny Cowley didn't do that, right?
No, he was well out of his lane. Well out of his lane.
I rate Dominic Thompson and the rest of them for not giving him a box. Right, he's not a footballer. He's not on the pitch. You want to be on the pitch, fine. You stay in your technical area. You're meant to be a manager, right? You're meant to, nah.
Yeah, I mean, I did say on social media when I think Mr. Mark Keith said about it. I said, look, he's well out of his technical area. The technical area is not there just for the groundsman to have one more line to paint. It's there for a reason. He's well out of it. End of story. And I am with you on that one. I think he probably knew what he was doing. But as I said yesterday's show, I think a little bit was about getting his team riled up, showing his team a little bit of fight and passion and sort of leading from that front, if you like. A couple of comments, then we'll bring in TJ. By the way, guys, Callie's a little bit jumpy on my end. If he is at your end, no. If he is at your end, let me know. Alternatively, if he's fine, again, let me know, because it might just be my computer, because TJ before the show was also a little bit jumpy. So it might just be me, which is why I ask if it is, or if it is me, because if it's me, I can't do much about that. I'll just have to put up with it. Kev Sherwood, Cowley went walkabout more than Mick Dundee on Saturday. Frank, Pompey got what they come for. Very frustrating. Chris Boyd, we need to learn some of this nastiness. So many teams have done it against us. It's this unfiltered chat, says Jordan, that makes this podcast the best. Jordan, it's a live microphone. Literally all day I've been bricking it about giving Callie this microphone. I've been thinking how many times I'm going to lose my house. Paul P. I suppose that's why I pay business insurance. Paul P, it's happening more and more at Portman Road. We have a final way through teams like Portsmouth, Cheltenham, and Accrington. Mike D, if we'd won, we wouldn't be talking about it. Again, struggle to score goals. That's the big issue. Just shows the gap. McKenna, class. Cowley, arse, says Stephen.
Clownley. His name's Danny Clownley because he's a fucking clown.
Right, let's bring in our last contributor. He is, of course, known to the darts crew as... Big Fish, Tom James. Tom, welcome in. How you doing?
All right, mate. How you doing? You all right, Callie, mate?
How you doing, bro?
Very
You're right.
well, thank you. Very quickly, darts. Gerwin Van Price, as I christened him on last week's show. I know. And then we spent 10 minutes talking about Gerwin Van Price, a.k.a. Gerwin Price, and he didn't bother showing up. Tell him.
Didn't show up. He's too busy boxing.
Was it boxing, do you think, that caused the incident, caused the accident?
No, he said he wasn't, but it probably was.
He said he wasn't, but he probably was. Okay. So, yeah. I didn't know he was a boxer. Although, looking at him, I should have guessed.
No, he does everything. He says he's doing some sort of charity boxing match, and suddenly now he can't throw any darts. So,
I tell you, he was looking for a boxing match. Josh Russell. Yeah, Josh, let's get you lined up. You can fight the old Gerwin. What's his boxing name, Tom? Do you know?
Who?
Gerwin Price. Not Josh Russell. I'm not asking you what you think Josh Russell's boxing name might be.
I have no idea, mate. I'll have to have a look, seeing if he gets around to it or not.
Absolutely brilliant. Right, Mike D, continue to come on with some more music and smoke machines next time. Now that's reserved for Tux. I'm sure you've seen the incident that Callie has so eloquently christened Cowley with a certain name about. What are your thoughts before we bring in Neil Perks to have his say on the touchline spat?
Yeah, Callie's used up all my C-bombs for tonight, so sadly I can't jump in with one of those. Yeah, he's just an arse, isn't he? But again, that's all he is. He's just a bit of an arse. But yeah, but it's the officials who've got to do more. If they're going to do that, the officials have got to send him off, sling his hook. But they didn't do anything. They probably weren't strong enough from what I've seen. So yeah, I'd put it on them more than
officials were weak.
Yeah,
you're
and
right about officials.
Because we can go on about like teams doing this to us, and I think quite a few people have said it. We just need to be a little bit more streetwise to it, and it's going to happen a lot next season when we're in this league, which we'll touch on in a bit, I'm sure.
Still not over, bro.
I know it's not, but I'll tell you what I'm looking at. I'm looking to 4th place, Oxford at the minute. I'm not looking at these teams. I think they're going to catch up that points gap, and I think we're 8 points short with 8 games left, and it's nah.
Okay. So you're saying it's mathematically possible, but probably not going to be achievable.
Yeah, but I'm not down about it whatsoever. I'm really looking forward to what's coming. I've seen enough already where this team looks great. The manager's really good. Fans are back together. I think we feel like a good community at the minute, and yeah, I think it will happen next year. I'd love it to be this year, and I'm not going to throw the towel in until it's not possible, but in my head, that's just me being a bit more realistic, I think. And I think the start of the season's cocked it up a bit.
Megan Fairweather, officials are very weak in this league. Yeah, I think Callie would go a bit further than that.
No, she's spot on though, because and TJ said it earlier, but look at when my man went down. Well, all of them were going down. Referees weren't, linesmen should have been like, hurry up, get on with it or whatever. Weak, very weak play.
Yeah, but referees don't do time wasting. Like they brought this 6-second rule in for the goalies having the ball in their hands.
What the fuck's the point of them then?
What's the point of the 4th official? You may as well give it to a child in the stands.
Yeah. 4th official, I've never understood.
He's just stood there waving a board in the air. You literally could do a raffle before the game and give some lucky fan, a 10-year-old, the chance to come on the pitch and do, like, literally that incident there. Before I bring in Neil. Isn't that why the 4th official is there? To say, look, you're at your technical area, blah, blah, blah. He was doing naff all.
Clueless.
Absolutely.
Listen, it was only when they're doing their little warm-up, which always annoys me. Like, we don't need to see you guys warming up on the pitch or whatever. So when they're doing their lineup, it's only 3 of them doing their warm-up. The 4th one, he's just there to just be there. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, he is.
I've got to get the board out. Got to get the board out. That's about it. Fucking donuts.
Bring back the old signs. I'm old enough to remember the old signs when they put the hold an 8 and a 9 up. That's how old I am. Right, Neil, Neil, welcome in. I'm going to drop out just to see if I can sort my internet out. But you tell us what you thought of the game yesterday. What's on your mind, Mr. Perks?
Hi, guys.
How you doing, Neil? You all
Right, mate.
Yeah, okay, thanks. Yeah. He's put me on the spot now.
right?
You have to take it over, Callie.
Well, no, I guess like from it's one of those, like the performance itself. How did you find, who really shone for you, and how do you feel it? It was always 0-0. Like when I come out of the game yesterday, I did feel like it felt like a loss. And that's because we're chasing and we really wanted the win. But I don't know, how does that feel for you?
I know a couple of the lads are still trying to get me to come up this season, so I might be able to get up for a game. But obviously, I can't get them many matches. They're trying to get me up, or maybe coming up for Charlton, possibly. They're trying to get me up for Argyle, but I don't think I can do that because of work and that. But I listened to the commentary and I saw the highlights. As people said before, yeah, it was disappointing, and I think only one team wanted to win that game, didn't they? You could see that clearly. And even from the commentary, you could tell that 100%. No one. They weren't trying to do anything, were they? They wanted a point, and that was good enough for them.
That's kind of what the whole, the Cowley incident is kind of epitomised that, really, because it's like Thompson's there trying to take the quick throw. I think it's around the 75th, around the 80-minute, around that mark. But Thompson's trying to take a quick throw, and Cowley's trying to slow it down in any way he can. And it was just that's why I call him Tin Pot, because that's the only way they got a point. It's not like what I'd say is you fought out a hard deserved draw or got a point. It was, we lay on the grass, we lay down for a bit, we all identified as cows and started eating grass for half of the game, and it was like, what the hell's that about? Like, play fucking football, man. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. What do you make of our playoff chances, Neil?
I think I put it in the chat yesterday. Probably not. I try and stay as positive as I can. I mean, I will honestly say now that I'll stick my neck on the line now and say that if we can win these next two games, I still think the playoffs are on. But for me, if we don't get 6 points, playoffs are gone. They are then. Got to be 6 points next two games.
6 points or playoffs are gone. That's probably a fair shout. But how do you go about getting those 6 points? Because obviously, and also a little bit, one of those is at home. Teams have come down to Portman Road this year, and I'll ask Tom the exact same question after you, Neil. Teams have come down to Portman Road this year with a consistent plan. Frustrate, fall on the ground, grind out a point. Basically asking the question, can you break us down and beat us? And we've failed every time. How do we go about in the summer? What's missing? What's the missing ingredient currently from the team that can break a team down, like Portsmouth, like an Oxford, etc., that have come to Portman Road? Neil?
It's difficult, isn't it? Because obviously we seem to have a lot of the ingredients, apart from obviously a prolific goal scorer, someone who can get us a lot of goals. We're certainly missing that. I think we need another player in the Morsy mode, definitely. Somebody else like Morsy. I think we need another player like that. It's just hard to put your finger on it. I think what's happened to us this season is when we're winning, teams seem to still be winning above us, and then when we don't pick up the 3 points, teams above us are still winning, and now we're just getting injuries at a time when we really could do without them, and people are just falling like flies now. I mean, from the highlights I saw, and you guys were there live. I know Callie and you, Martin, but from seeing the highlights, Jackson looked quite a nasty injury. I don't think you'll see him this year, will you?
No, I don't
He's
think we will,
gone.
sadly. But I think he'll be given a new contract. Prolific goal scorer, says Neil, and Jordan Cansdale, YouTube member in the chat, as does Adam. Is it as simple as that, Tom? Saturday, 0-0 draw at home to Portsmouth, 14 shots, but only 3 on target. Is it as simple as a prolific goal scorer, or is it more actually we're just missing quality around the central player as well as a striker? How do you see it? What do you think?
It's both, to be fair. We've not had the service from the left side all season, and I think we keep touching on that. But Burns has probably done his bit, to be fair, on the right-hand side. Even with a few niggly injuries early in the season, he's contributed and he's done his bit. We've had nothing on the left side. We've not had a backup striker to supplement Bond's goals that he got at the start. and no one's really kind of stepped up and helped with the load. So we're missing another big striker who's going to do the business for us, and someone on the left who's going to assist more and score more, but we've just not had it, and that's probably been our downfall, the reason we're only winning 1-0 or 2-0 in some of these games. So yeah, I think McKenna's probably addressed it already, and we're going to be a bit stronger next season for it.
Great point there regarding the left side, Callie. Can our boy Kyle Edwards,
it's got to be the real Eduardo, isn't it?
but can he transition into a complete left wing back, as I'm going to call it?
I think so. Because I think, okay, if you look at our team anyway, defensively, that four, the 3 centre-backs and Walton, they're solid, right? Even when you replace Fridge with Burgess, who, by the way, was probably one of the best players on the pitch on Saturday, right? Even when you replace, so you got Burgess in there as your backup or whatever, it's still a solid defence. So people coming back, as long as you're going to be at closing down and close down that play, right? As long as you can do that and track your man from a defensive point of view as a wing-back in this team, because Burns isn't, okay, a couple of times he'll throw in some slide tackles, but Burns isn't there, sliding in and doing everything like you see JD, Wolfie or Fridge doing. He's there simply to get down, close down that man and close any space down, right? Now, if you cast your mind back to the beginning of the season when Carl Edwards was playing, and he was playing alongside, obviously, with a combination of Penny and Coulson, especially with Penny, he bailed him out time and time again. And that was one of the things, I said it on this show before, I was quite impressed with him, is he was tracking his man well. His defensive side of the game was really good as well, right? It was just, he never found that kind of, it's just unfortunately he never got an assist or a goal or whatever, because that would have just kick-started it a bit more for him. But he's still a young player. He's still a contracted player as well, right? I think he's someone I would definitely, it's just a shame we can't test him now until he comes back probably for pre-season.
Yeah.
But I would have definitely given him a run in the team, right? I think from a defensive point of view, and no disrespect, I don't think he's any worse than Matt Penny, right? And we've talked recently about having Penny back in the team. And from an attacking point of view, I think he's better than all of them, right? Well, that's, he's a winger, right? It would be exciting to see that, to have Edwards on one side, Burns on the other side. You've got Fridge or Burgess with Wolfie and Donasian and Walton.
If you're offered Thompson, Kelly, sorry to cut across you. If you're offered Thompson, would you sign him back on loan again if you're offered him by Brentford?
Depends on what we're doing with Penny. Because if we're saying that this is going to be our preferred formation with wing backs, Edwards for me,
would be, wouldn't you? You would have thought it.
Yeah, then you got Edwards and Penny already. So you transition that. Do you need then Dominic Thompson? Now, for me, the better two options, yes, would be Thompson and Edwards, in my opinion, right? And either sell Penny or loan him out or whatever. The reality is, Penny's a contracted player. Edwards is a contracted player. I don't see it.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry, you've just frozen on my screen. Sorry. You just froze on my screen. Sorry. Okay, I get that. Before I bring Colin in, Neil, ball playing defenders, they're always wanted by teams. If you had to lose one of the two in the summer, right now, who would you not want to lose? Fridge or Wolf?
Who would you not want to lose?
Not want to lose. Who would you want to keep? 100%. Neil Perks.
I mean, I've obviously only watched him play once. That was down at Argyle when I went. But I've been a massive. You guys have seen Wilford a lot more than me, but I've always been a massive fan of Edmondson. To be honest with you, I think he's a fantastic defender. I do. Just think he's a brilliant defender.
Okay. Callie, do you agree with that? Would it be because ball playing defenders are always, particularly as teams continuously want to play out from the back and play the right style of football. I'm not saying he's going to go. I'm just saying if you had to say, right, okay, look, we've got to lose one of them. Who wouldn't you want to lose, Callie?
Not just because he's in form at the moment, but if we look at the formation we're playing with the three at the back, it suits him better than the other one. So for me, the one I would be keeping is Wolfenden.
Okay.
I think he's a natural ball playing defender. He does it not saying he does it with so much ease or whatever, but like it is kind of with ease. Whereas with Fridge, when he's on the ball and he's trying to do those things, you do kind of in the back of your mind like, shit, he's going to lose it here and something or whatever. And he does make a odd kind of mistake here and there. Fridge is a better defender suited to a four at the back. I think 3 at the back, he's not as strong, and we've seen that. And that's no criticism. I think he's been a solid defender.
No,
if we're keeping it real, for me, if this is the formation we're doing, the core of it, and obviously we can tweak it, but this is ultimately what we're doing, 3 at the back. Then Wolfie is the one that you need to keep.
Okay, yeah, and this is not a criticism piece. This was just an interesting sort of test, because this time last year, Wolfenden would have been the first on everyone's lists of defenders you want to see leave the football club. The fact that it's a split poll here between the both of you and in the chat is a testament to Luke Wolfenden and just how good of a season he has had, and how much of a resurgence he has had. Neil, we do appreciate you coming back. I'm sorry you couldn't get on yesterday's show.
That's all right.
Hopefully speak again to you soon.
Okay, cheers, guys.
Look after yourself. I'm going to drop a link in the chat now. If you want to come on the show, have your say, please do so. Colin will join us very shortly. Before I bring him on, we have got Craig from Portsmouth. It did feel like a loss. Me and my wife said that to each other walking out of the ground. Just like the Oxford and Cheltenham game, Stephen Parry, we need to go 3-4-3 and just go for it. We have nothing to lose but everything to gain. Matt Stannard, I think Saturday we were unlucky. Hand was forced first half, and then we lacked physicality in the box. There were lumps we had to rely on set pieces. Crosses. Of course you can.
I just want to say one thing just on Saturday, because that's kind of picking up just what Matt was saying there as well. The positive, like before we went into that game, remember Portsmouth were an informed team, and so like there was, some fans were worried we'd get spanked or whatever, or this, that, and the other. The fact is, we lost Sam, who is a driving force in our team and a big player, big loss for us. We lost him fairly early on. Carroll come on. And then we lost Jackson in the first half as well, who was our mate, who was the only striker in form at the moment. Mm-hmm. So the goals kind of were gone. Yet, if it wasn't for a shit linesman, we'd have won the game anyway, right?
Yeah.
We'd have got the right thing there anyway. So it's one of those where, although, yes, these things have happened, it does feel like a loss, because I said the same thing as well. We just then have to think to ourselves, well, actually, this was Portsmouth, who were in form. And like we said, the only way they got a point was by, shithousery or whatever.
And they knew it.
Yeah.
Their tactic was to just
But it was good to know that
survive.
You had Carroll, playing there. And, okay, he's not going to drive forward as much, but he's got neat passing. Backinson, I told you I've done a 180 on him as well, It's still Raheem Harper around here, but now I'm thinking Raheem Harper and Backinson when Morsy's injured. Wow. Right. Oh. That's a dream, right?
That's a dream team. That's a dream team. Before I bring Colin in, Tom, something I said to Callie after the game Saturday, I'm going to ask you now. How about a back three of Fridge, Wolf, Burgess? What would that do for you next year?
It's all right. Yeah, I wouldn't be unhappy with it. But, yeah, I like what we've had since Edmondson got injured. It's like that's what's been working for us, and that's what I would still stick with. It's that back three. So, yeah, if Burgess is absolutely competent as a backup, he probably deserves to be starting in this league in any other team, to be honest. And, yeah, I think we saw on that Town in 5 video they put out that Baggett is the next backup in the line. So I think we're pretty set for all our centre-backs at the minute. So, yeah, whoever's going to get in, I think will be all right for us.
So, just laughing at that Tyrek.
Tyrek, I like that. Like that. Yeah, the new, Tyrek, we like that. Gets that on some t-shirts. Denassian would be many people's option. Callie, I know, people in the chat. Has he played well since McKenna? We're talking about Wolfenden having a great time under Kieran McKenna. Has Denassian had the same success, or has he dropped off a little bit since Paul Cook left? Because under Cook, he was phenomenal. Assists, player of the year at one point. I don't think he'd be in that conversation now. What about you, Tom?
No, without question, JD's been almost just as good, to be honest, and he's been one of the better performers throughout the season. He's probably up there for player of the season in some people's eyes, and probably in my eyes he's up there as well. So I think people have just taken a look at Wolfenden and gone, oh, where's he come from? That's the defender we all want to come through, because he's probably a Suffolk lad and stuff like that. So we're all focused on Wolfenden so much that, oh yeah, JD's doing what he's done all season, which is being excellent. So I've seen absolutely nothing, no reason why I would drop him at all. He's been the most consistent.
I think, do you know what it is with JD? There's two things there in the conversation. So Wolfie, he's his resurgence, if you like, is new because it's under McKenna, his resurgence, yeah. JD's resurgence was at the beginning of the season. So JD's resurgence, and now JD's consistently putting in good performances where he puts in a 7 or an 8 performance, and it's like, yeah, that's JD. We don't even think, oh, okay, that's a great performance. It's just like that's what we've been blessed with, or whatever. That it's 7 or 8, and that Emerson is spot on. Watch JD play; he never gets beaten, right? He listen. Someone might quickly try and jink past him. He will get there. He will get the ball. He's solid and he's quick, right? Defensively, he's good. I get what you're saying about the assist thing because I think he popped up with about 4 assists or something so far. But I think that was the formation as well, and I think the way what we were doing. So and he was talking in his interview with Cameron Burgess after the game on Saturday, and one of the things he was talking about is being that overlap thing, so where Wes can cut inside. So he's trying to work more on that on his attacking side. But he's good. He's I still think he's up there for player of the season. You think about what he where people perceived him as a person. This time last season he was out on loan at Fleetwood.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just reading Heidi's comment now. I love the KM positivity and generally think we'll come good at the club, but he's still learning. And let's be honest, we're still 9th. Colin, how you doing?
Colin, how you doing, man?
Hello, Kelly. Hi, TJ. Hi, Gav. How are we? All right.
Very well. Sorry you didn't get on yesterday's show. What do you make of the result Saturday? And Heidi there in the chat. KM positivity she's loving, but we are still 9th. Let's not forget that.
Yeah. Well, Gav, like I said on Saturday, I was deflated, like Kelly was saying, felt like a bit like a loss, but I was more deflated,
Yeah.
Kind of quite happy with the performance, I thought the performance was decent. I hate to use the word, but they are a shit house for the side. They really are. They're very Danny Cowley, if you know what I mean, as a side. Like me and Kelly, we watched them down at Fratton Park, and I said, I think it was on Friday night. When I was asked about, was I bothered about Pompey? No, I wasn't, because I knew what they got. They've improved, yes, but their capabilities are not nowhere near Town's. And I was never ever bothered about the game. I always thought we'd win the game. Obviously, we didn't. But as for a really bad linesman's decision, which has now been proven, we would have got 3 points anyway, TJ, Kelly and Gov. But and we'd have all been, well, I'm looking forward to Oxford anyway, and I'm looking forward to the rest of the season anyway. But we'd have been looking forward to Oxford just that tiny tad more, But I mean, what we've got to understand is, and Carly's kind of gone over this. I mean, the for want of a better phrase, the green shoots, they're there. I mean, they're there for all of us to see. And we've got a fantastic goalkeeper. We've got an absolutely fantastic 4 or 5 players at the back. If you include people like Alkin and Endevar and what have you. Midfield is absolutely fine when we get the likes of Morse back and what have you. So, it's obvious. It's the obvious one, isn't it? It's the obvious one. And I'm trying to be as measured as I possibly can about it. And it's absolutely obvious. We just got to get this forward line thing right, and I trust Kieran 100%, not 95%. I trust him 100%. He will get this right. And at the end of the day, look, I'm with everybody else now. I've not give up. You don't expect me to, Gov. But and I won't give up.
Sorry.
I will not give up. But if we are still in this league, and I'm not saying definitely are, if we are still in this league next season, I'm sure Kieran will have it absolutely right come whenever it is, end of July, I think it is this season. And we start off, and I'm sure he'll have it bang on, ready for the off.
Okay. There's an interesting conversation going on in the chat, and I just want to pick up on a little bit of it and bring it to the party, as it were, because Simon Harris poses the question, Tom. thinking maybe some are blinded. How many Town players have been that consistent over the season to get into a Wigan or Rotherham? I will come to you as well, Callie. I can go through the team from Saturday, and maybe you tell me if you think they would get into the Wigan or Rotherham side, not just based on Saturday, but based across the whole season. Christian Walton, Tom.
To be fair, I don't know a lot about Wigan or Rotherham's
Well,
players,
we know that Wigan are first and second, and Rotherham are top.
To get into a top 2 team of that quality. So, yeah, Walton, I don't see, or probably haven't seen many better keepers at this level. So it seems logical to say that he would get into a top 2 team.
Is there many after that in our team? Do you think that's in the top echelon of the division that would push out a Rotherham player or a Wigan player? Because I think we've got good players, but consistently over the season we are 9th for a reason.
Yeah, you touched on earlier, like the question about a ball-playing centre-back specifically. Like, Wolfie's better at ball playing, but I think the best defender we've got could arguably be Edmondson, and I'd say he would he'd walk into any team and probably lower championship easily as well. So Edmondson, I think, is a top 2 division player. Morsy is a top 2 division player.
Listen, most of them are. Sorry, just Emerson put something in the chat. Yes, there is music in the back. It's not just you.
Yes, there is.
I did think that.
No, there is. Let me know what you think of it. Let me know. It's a new feature that StreamYard have delivered to me, and I thought, you know what? Let's trial it out. Let's see how it goes down. I played one set of music in the first 30 minutes and a second set in the second 30, just to see how it goes. Go on, Callie.
So top 2 teams, yeah.
Yeah.
Goalie. Come on.
Yeah, but outside the goalkeeper. Okay. And you can't have your mate Sam Morsy, because that would be unfair.
But no, hold on, you're telling me Morsy wouldn't be in the top 2?
Of course he would. Well, Morsy was getting Man United's team. Morsy's the best player on God's green earth since Matt Holland's laced a pair of boots. But
Mo Salah plays for Egypt because I saw Morsy. That's what I heard.
I reckon that was the case as well. But who outside of those then, Callie, for you?
Realistically, I think TJ's right. I think Fridge is up there. I think JD's up there. I think JD gets in a lot of teams because he's versatile as well. He can play that centre back or right back as well. Santi's definitely up there. You're telling me Santi doesn't get in one of those teams? Come on, right? Yeah, he's definitely up there. Santi is.
Depends who you're playing for me, because Selena against Cheltenham and Morecambe looks brilliant. Selena against the top side.
What you mean again? Nah, come on, man. When he played Wickham away, quality. Right.
One game don't make a season, and one swallow don't make
Portsmouth
a season.
away.
Yeah, all right. Just 2.
We can keep doing it, right?
I ain't got a saying for 2 games. I haven't got a saying for 2 games. 2 swallows don't make a summer.
So put a question mark over Santi then, right? Burns.
But yeah,
definitely gets in top 2 easily. Colin man. The man we've been calling about from the beginning, Mr. MVP, Mr. Sonny Aluko.
You think Aluko gets in the top 2 side?
Yeah, I do. I think if the top 2 could have afforded the wage demands or requests or whatever you want to call it, I think he would have been signed there, 100%.
Okay, right? all right.
And then Eric... the only thing is then if you look at paper for our strikers, then I think. Nah, sorry, none of our strikers.
Fair point. Eric Clacton, not seen that name in the chat in a while. He's still driving home. We thought you'd crashed, to be fair, Eric, because I've not seen you in a while. Hope you're doing all right. Welcome back to the party, my friend.
Wait. Is he pulled over and text? Because he shouldn't be doing that while he's driving. You get 3 points, bro, or 6 points now.
Yes, absolutely. Spot on.
Pull over.
Sam Morsy, absolute warrior. Spoke a bit about it yesterday. We'll speak about it today in the sense of who replaces Sam Morsy, because to be honest with you, even if he can go Saturday, Colin, I don't think he should start. I think Saturday, in hindsight, he didn't look 100% at it. I know Callie yesterday said, you try to tell Sam Morsy he's not playing, but that's why McKenna is paid big bucks. Who replaces him on Saturday away from home for you? Who comes in, Colin?
I think there's those 2. Obviously, if Evans is obviously not fit and available, I'm not Andy Carroll. Carroll's a good footballer. I think Carroll would be better off in the Championship. Personally, he's a good footballer. But for Saturday, I would personally play Battinson and Aluko. and like I said the other day, you know, not everybody's cup of tea, and I'm sure probably Kieran won't do it. But you know, look, at the end of the day, we're going to Oxford, and we're playing Plymouth, and we're playing all these other teams. The last 8 games, you know, we've got to go on the front foot in all these 8 games. And we've got, in my opinion, we've got to win 7 of them. It's possible. We've got to win 7 of these games, in my opinion. And I think that starts with Saturday. Oxford have lost a lot of players lately. Oh, okay, they won again Saturday, but they've lost a lot of players. They had about 9 changes Saturday, allegedly. They've lost the boy Brown, who's a very good player. They've lost Baldock, who's a very, very good player. I'm sure Burgess, Wolf, and Don kind of rubbing their hands at that. I mean, Baldock, he does score goals for fun, and Brown knocks them in as well. So, and they've got other injuries as well. I don't think, this is my personal opinion, from my football knowledge, I don't think they'll be looking forward playing against Town on Saturday. Well, irrespective of what team we play. But I think I'd play, going back to your question, I think I'd play Aluko, I'd play Battinson. it's a toss-up between Chelina and Chaplin. I don't think I'd play both of them. If I want to win that game, I think, I don't think Kieran will do it, but I would go for two forwards and 1 behind, like a bit of a Gatesy behind, like Marin and Brazil, you know. So like somebody would be in the hole, somebody like Chelina behind Bon and Norwood maybe. But I don't think he'll do it. But there again, he might, you know, because Kieran, you know, none of us can judge what he's going to do, and I think that's the brilliant part about Kieran McKenna, personally.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he threw burst at Chelina as a deep line playmaker out of the blue away from home. Colin, I've got Louis waiting, so I'll bring him in a second. But we appreciate you. Hopefully, you'll come back on the midweek show and tell us.
Oh, could I just say one shout out, please?
Of course you can, sir.
I was just come out the club shop on Saturday, and I got a little shout across the road, and I had to think for a minute who it was, and it was Mr. and Mrs. It was Wes Burns's mum and dad, and they come over. And they, you know, obviously knew myself from the show, and they said obviously they watched the show and stuff. And they were the most lovely couple I've met in ages. They were really, really lovely, and I'd like to say a big shout out to them because you know, really, really genuine people and lovely people. And I'm meeting them before the Plymouth game for a drink in the fan zone on PM Day, and I'm really, really looking forward to it. They're a couple of lovely people. And
nice.
And I also would like to. Also, one other thing I'd just like to say, Gav. I know I'm wasting your time.
Shout out, bloody hell, Colin. Jeez. What do you want? Yellow Pages?
No, I did actually personally go up and have a word with Joe Piggott on Saturday just before he got on the bus, and I think he really, really appreciated it. I know the boy Chaplin did. He was around, and so was Matt Penny, but that was lovely for me because it was just lovely, and so that's all done and dusted, and I'm really, really pleased about that.
Good man, we love.
And by the way, Joe, all the best for the rest of the season, my man. All the best.
Absolutely. You're a gentleman, Colin. We love you. Look after yourself.
I love you all. See you, Kelly. See you, TJ. See you, Gav. Take care. Bye.
Aluko and Backinson, Tom. Craig at Portsmouth. How the hell Aluko? No assist, no goal since October. Lovely trick and gives the ball away.
He gets your favourite pre-assist, though, doesn't he?
Oh, fuck the pre-assist. Stephen Parry, let's be fair. We're not top 2 because PC ruined our chances and we had bigger overhauls than Wigan or Rotherham. Let's not forget only us and Rotherham in 2022 have had 10 clean sheets. I like that stat, Stephen, but I'd rather be Rotherham right now, about to go back to the Championship. Let's be honest, nightmare. I don't think we need to worry about keeping strikers from scoring. It's hoping ours can bag 1 or 2. Good point, Nightmare. And Lee Bayliss, Guion Edwards will struggle to make our squad. Luca and Backinson, Tom. I want to see a Luca in that more deeper role, because I think if he can play it, I'd give him another year now. Because I think he's a good footballer, but he's not a risk taker in the sense of he won't make that clinical pass for the assist. Whereas someone like Santi, he stands out a little bit more maybe because he does give the ball away, because he is a no risk it, no biscuit type player. What do you think of Backinson or Luca? Who stands in for you?
Yeah, I think I've put down Luco with Backinson, purely for the reason that I think Backinson can do the dirty work a bit more. Luco doesn't really lose the ball, and I think we need that bit of drive that Morsy can give. It's obviously not the same level. It's not the same as McKenna puts it, level of penetration, but I think Luco carries the ball really well, and like you say, he can get the pre-assist to give it to someone else to do the job. So I'd put him in just for that reason, a bit of a more experienced head. And yeah, you're not a fan, are you?
Playing football? No, not really.
No, come on, it's not just playing football. Be fair, Martin, right?
I mean, Nicky Butt would have been like the next Luis Figo if we were doing pre-assists.
Listen, anytime you say Nicky Butt, I just think of when he come on from Newcastle, did that pointless fucking overhead fucking, the one I'm on about.
I do.
Midway. Yeah, it's like, what was that? Anyway,
what a player.
Luca's a tidy player, right? The problem we've got, and this is the thing we've got with Morsy being out, is Morsy, whilst he's there to break up the play as well, he drives forward. No one else really does that.
Yeah.
So one player does, but I don't think he's there. I do rate him, but Elmiz. So I think Iddy could do a job, right? I think Elmiz and Backinson combination would work quite nicely, but he's just coming back off an Achilles heel injury, so he may not be 100%.
Yeah.
But then the Aluko side of things is, yes, he'll run at players, but Aluko ain't going to break up the play. He will put a nice tackle in here and there, but he ain't going to slide across. He's not going to do that kind of that dogged work that Sam does, right? No one, unfortunately, we don't have anyone in there really that does it. Seen a bit more of Backinson, if we can get more bit of, as Matt calls him, the physical presence, right? If he's getting in there a bit more the tackling, then fair enough. But I think you guys touched it on Sunday. I thought actually once Sam went off, he kind of switched quite nicely. So he kind of then took on the decision to, right, I'm going to start driving the game and driving forward now as well. So I think Backinson stays in there, possibly with Elmiz, but it'll probably be Carroll. Right.
I'm not a big fan of Carroll, I've got to be honest. He dies at about 70 minutes. That's my issue with it. He runs out of steam, and him and Backinson in the same midfield, Tom.
He reminds me of Cole Scouse, to be honest.
In what? How?
Keeps the ball, sideways passing, crab-like, right? And then you're just shouting for him to shoot at the end of the box. Okay.
All right. I'm just looking at the stats here, Tom, about Edmondson, Donastion and Wolfenden. Statistically, if you want to sort of nitpick, Edmondson's not as good as the other two. So tackles won per game. Edmondson is 1, Luke Wolfenden is 1.2, and Donastion is 1.7. Errors leading to a goal, though. Obviously, Edmondson stands out because of that Wednesday issue, I think, where he gave the ball
Bolton.
away. And Bolton. Yeah, and Bolton. I mean, yeah, there you go.
That had a combination in.
That'll be the one that is actually shown on the stat. That will be the Bolton one. So yeah, maybe I'm a little bit harsh on Donastion. I don't know. I just.
JD.
I know. But Luke.
Look at JD's been consistent 7, 8, 8.5, maybe sometimes 9s, right? And we've been spoilt with quality performances from JD. That's all it is. You've been spoilt, Martin. You've been spoilt.
I am being spoilt, and I'm being spoilt for choice. So I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, do you know what? Burgess is a natural left-sided player. That's balance. Edmondson's a right-footed player. Because I think Edmondson is better than Donastion, but according to stats, maybe I'm wrong. Talk to me about this pre-assist, Tom. Because isn't that just playing football before I bring Louis in? It's just playing football, isn't it? It's not even a stat worth quantifying. It's like expected assists. The fuck is all that about?
I've never even thought about a pre-assist until you mentioned it 10 minutes ago, and I thought it'd be funny just to bring it up again.
No, it triggers me. Last year with Drinan, that's my trigger word. That's my trigger word, man. Pre-assist. That's my nut.
It used to be expected goals, didn't it?
Oh, don't even talk to me about assisted. I got a message the other day on the Talking Town Facebook group. Apparently, I need to get a stat person in to teach me about expected goals. I was like,
that's a load of rubbish as well. No, pre-assist isn't really a thing, but I think what Aluko brings is we've seen he's got a range of passing that does suit us. It sets people up to help them get assists, which is good. It's not going to count as a stat, but I can see his contribution elsewhere. Ideally, I'd like more assists from him.
Like, think about the Gillingham game, yeah? The Gillingham away. Think about that pass from Aluko, and then I can't remember who crossed it in. Someone then crossed it in across to the box, and then it was a goal. Aluko don't get that assist, so on the stats, it's like, well, Aluko ain't got an assist. But what you're not realizing is Aluko makes that pass, no one else makes that pass. No one makes that pass in that team like that, and he's done those kind of things a few times. He's the only person I bring up this pre-assist thing with, because I think when you're looking at stats, it doesn't do Aluko justice. Because you think, assists and goals, nothing since Cambridge or Portsmouth or whatever, right? Since October. But it's just like, actually, nah, he's bringing stuff there that's ain't telling you the full picture.
But it is still a silly stat.
We're not. I don't think we're really saying it's a stat you would count. We're saying, does Aluko contribute to this? Does he contribute to the team? Yes, he does.
It's triggering Martin. It's triggering Martin, so we're gonna say it's a fucking stat, Martin. It's a proper stat, right? We need all the pre-assists, for the whole team. Luke Chambers had loads of pre-assists.
I'm just thinking Cole Skews was probably the best midfielder in the world in this case. Because and Luke Hine was Zinedine fucking Zidane, because all they did was recycle the ball. So it blows my mind. Saj, Luke has the vision and creativity to split defences. I agree with that. Louis, not only have we got to replace Morsy, we've got to replace Caden Jackson. I don't know. How do you replace Caden Jackson? Which I never thought I'd say at this point of the season. But how do you replace Caden Jackson? Who replaces him?
For me, I think I would go three midfielders. I'll do this. I'll do Backinson at the holding, and then you've got Selena and Aluko to the right of him, and I'll go two up front.
Okay, before you say which two, Norman. But Norman has a great point. Where does this end? It's insanity. Should we then look at pre-assist and then pre-assist and then pre? So the pre-assist, it never ends.
Who's fine?
When you do the pre,
you get kickoff.
It's the goalkeepers.
You get the warm up. Who brought the ball out first? Because without the ball, you can't score.
It's not. You're right. It's not a serious stat, but sometimes what we're saying is you have to look at it from a point of view. You think about Gillingham and that Aluko thing, right?
No.
That's not on the assist.
Callie,
right?
What you mean is I really like player A, so to justify my like of player A, because stats don't back up my
that's how debates work, right? That's how things. I think half these politicians get voted into shit, right? It's like, well, this is what we want. Well, this is the point I'm going to make.
Yeah,
right?
We're going to end tuition fees, class dying guarantee. Louis,
fucking student loan.
Louis, back to you. I said someone going to get politics, all right? Strikers, who's your front two then?
I would go with, I think Bong, because he played well on Saturday, and I'd go with Pigott, I think.
Bong and Pigott? Why Pigott? You didn't seem sure on Pigott, but why Pigott?
Because he just does not get a run of games in this team. He'll have one game, then he's on the bench, then one game, then he's not in the squad. Because Norwood has had a run of games, Bonner's had a run of games, and Jackson's now had a run of games. And Piggott's the only one that's not getting a run of games in this team, and yet he's the only one that. And he got more goals than probably all those three strikers combined last year. It just does not make sense to me.
Yeah. Sorry, I was just writing down insanity about pre-assist. Sorry. I probably agree with. Hey, it's triggered me. Tom, Bond, Pigott for our man Louis there. Who's up front for you? How do you replace Caden Jackson if you are Kieran McKenna?
Yeah, Bond and Norwood for me, with Selena in behind probably. So many options. I don't think you can replace Jackson like for like, so you've just got to do something a bit different. And it's probably, I'd like to see two up top tried, because we're getting a bit flat with just one up top and 2 10s behind, I think.
So with the two up top though, Tom, are you then sacrificing one of the three centre halves, or are you how are you accommodating that? I guess what is your team lineup? Who's dropping out?
It's just one fewer number 10, and I'm putting another striker on and putting more emphasis on that number 10 to do the work. I think that's, if you had Selena in there, for example, and you had a Luco in the 2 behind, maybe they can do a bit of alternating because they can have both played that role before. So I think there's maybe something there in it.
That is an interesting point that you make there, because on Saturday, Tom, there was a couple, or Sunday, whenever it was I saw it, a couple of fans questioning, not necessarily the 3 at the back, but the lack of 2 strikers at home in must-win games. Do you need those 4 central players, or Selena, as it was on Saturday, Selena, Chaplin, Morsy or Carroll and Backinson? Is that one too many, particularly at home?
It might be. It might be. I feel like we should. Well, we say go for it, but we've got quality players. It's just something's not working at the minute, and I don't know exactly what it is. I don't know if it is 2 strikers. Is it the quality of strikers that we've got is the problem, rather than the formation? It's
arguably.
We've touched on it. The strikers aren't scoring, so it's probably the quality of the strikers rather than the formation we're playing.
Is it an issue, Callie, of the 4? Because on Saturday, I can remember Connor Chaplin putting at least 2 quality balls in the box. The issue was Chaplin was the one putting the ball in the box. There was nobody else in there. Selena was outside the area. Bon was...
So that's all the chemistry, isn't it? So it's chemistry between your front 4. There is none. So why let's flip it for a sec. Look at the back 4. Why are the back 4 so solid? They're in sync. The chemistry is good, right?
Spot on.
They know it, right? Then the front 4 at the top. Maybe it's because we haven't got the like everyone's saying, we haven't got the quality. We haven't got the strikers there, right? For McKenna to say that these are the ones that are undroppable. Everyone else, if you like, the back 4, they've made it so much so that they're undroppable. The front guys, you haven't got won the shirt. So apart from Jackson recently, no one else had won the shirt, and then obviously Mako earlier on in the season. So now it's the case you're mixing it and changing it. Chappers is whipping in a ball, but I'd argue anyone whips in a ball, you should not maybe hold it up and look up before your player's in there. Maybe just shift it if you have to do, just feint it across or whatever, right? Wait for your players to get in there, because time and time again, what I was seeing on the weekend is we were pressing, we were there, we would get the opportunity, and we would just almost panic cross it into the box. There was a couple of times where we looked good and we were building and everything, but then some of the times when we're just whipping it on the break, it's like we were whipping it in for the sake of it without really looking up, and it's like you've just given it to keeper or centre half now. What's the point?
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I think it's just literally a chemistry thing. I think once there's a settled 4 there, you'll have that. You'll know that. Chappers will know. He'll pick that ball up and he'll know Jackson's on his motor or something, right? And let's not forget, maybe Jackson would have been on his motor, but he's done his hamstringing or whatever at the end of the first half.
Yeah. Do you know what, Callie? Do you know what? I paid £1.60 today for a bloody litre of fuel. £1.60 I paid. How much are you paying to get down to Portman Road? Petrol, diesel.
Really? That's how much you spend petrol? Fucking hell.
I know. I know. I bloody know. I think it was £1.60. Anyway, £1.59. It was something like that. It was.
No, you just go to Halfords, get some fake plates, mate. They'll just fill it up.
Honestly, how are you getting down?
50 quid fine, isn't it? 50
how are you getting down to Portman Road on Saturday? That must cost you.
I'm in diesel, mate. So.
Was that cheaper? Is that more expensive? Or I don't
know.
I
don't know. I just find that diesel lasts a bit longer. So I don't know. It used to cost me what? It's a 50 litre fuel tank or whatever. So it used to cost about 60 odd quid. Now it's about 75 quid or whatever.
Okay.
But even then, I'm paying less for diesel than what you're paying for petrol.
You are. But you might want to save yourself a little bit of money. And you can do that with Woodpecker, mortgages and protection. You can head to Graham. He's a town fan. He'll look after you. Graham at woodpeckermortgages.co.uk or 01636 337 He covers a whole range of things from life insurance to income protection to home insurance. He could look at remortgaging or your mortgage deal to see if he can save you some money on that. If you're looking to buy a property, there's a house next door to my in-laws. I wouldn't buy that one, but you could. If you could get a mortgage, don't forget though, if you do not keep up repayments, your house would be repossessed. But he could save you a host of money, Callie. He could get you to Portman Road and then give you a little bit more extra money in your back pocket to buy me a Tim Hortons.
Oh, well, we do like a Tim Hortons. I went Tim Hortons again today in Brum. I needed it again. But yeah, No, my mortgage comes up end of the year anyway, so I will be in contact. You know,
There you go. Follow the
Makes
King's
sense.
lead. Get in touch with
It's
Graham.
all
Woodpecker
complicated, all
Mortgages.
mortgages, so it's easier when you just can talk to someone that knows what they're on about. Plus, if they
Absolutely.
support Ipswich, then you know that they know what they're
And
on
I
about.
hear he does not subscribe to pre-assists, so you know he's a sane person to deal with.
Sorry, I'm in shock. What? Roy Clark, 186 a litre. Where's Farnham? Where's Farnham?
179 for Budge. Jesus. I get the old sunflower oil. Louis, how?
Red diesel.
What? No, don't do that. What I was saying, what I was seeing in the chat, Louis, was comments like Trevor Amos. We just need to get more players in the box.
Yeah.
How do you get more players in the box though? Because if it was that easy, every team would be doing it. So how do you think we do it? What's missing from us in getting the players in the box?
I don't know now. I guess the only option now for me is go 2 up top maybe, and just you just make sure you have maybe 2 up top and 2 players out wide who can put a ball in the box, maybe like Selena and Aluko. Because I think this is one thing I didn't get right, because on Tuesday we played Lincoln. We had Selena and Aluko and behind. In my opinion, I think they worked brilliantly. They were the 2 best we had in behind a striker. And then I know Aluko is obviously this age, he can't play every game, but I just didn't understand why he got dropped, because I thought them 2 were brilliant on Tuesday. Yeah, and I think both of them, if we have someone, 2 players up top like Piggott, who's an aerial threat, and either maybe Bon or Norwood, who all 3 of them I think are good in the air. And then you've got players like Luco and Selena who can put balls in the box. I think it would work.
Okay. Louis, as always, great points. We appreciate you, mate. Look after yourself. Enjoy the rest of your evening. It would work. Selena and Chaplin, Tom, but, you know, as we come round, Gov promoting a mortgage broker is technically a pre-assist to a mortgage. Just saying. No, it's not. It's an assist to a mortgage. It's an assist to a mortgage. Surely.
The mortgage broker is the assist. Yeah, he's providing the assist, isn't it, the broker?
And you're providing the pre-assist.
So you're the pre-assist.
That's it. Partnership ended. Do it yourself, Woodpecker.
Yes, DJ.
I'm out. I ain't pre-assisted nothing. All I know is that I've got a lot of people in my chat telling me £1.63, £1.74, £1.99. All these people are spending through the nose. They need Graham's help. Get to Woodpecker Mortgages and Protection, people. He could. I am promising naff all, but he could save you some money. Tom, Selena, Chaplin. I don't like it when they play together. I said so Saturday. I'll say it again now. I don't like it when they play together. Do you want to see them 2 play together more often? Because I don't think you get the best of either when they're on the same team sheet. What about you?
No, I get what you're saying. Honestly, the amount of formations we're playing, the amount of players we're playing together, and partnerships we're trying to build, I can't work out what the best formation is. Nothing's sustained for a long enough run of games where we get to see the best of any partnership. So I've not seen the best of them together either, and I think they are similar in many ways. So I probably wouldn't put them together. Very similar players in some respects, their creativity, whereas one of them with an Aluko would be more complementary in my opinion, so I probably wouldn't put them together. Yeah,
I do think Aluko with one of the others maybe works that a little bit better. Simon Harris, Chaplin and Selena don't cross the ball. They both cut back in. We need players to deliver first time. In all seriousness though, this petrol situation, Callie, I think the government might, I read something, they might be lowering the price back end of the week, so if you are got to fill up, just wait for the price to go down a little bit.
I've got an airport run to do on Friday anyway, so...
Oh, there you go. Who's going away?
Wife, going to India for 2 weeks.
You're home alone for 2 weeks?
Oh, no.
Where's the party, man? When are we going to have the party? We can do the pre-drinks. The pre-drinks.
Well, we have whiskey, but we have other stuff here, so yeah.
Good stuff. Sounds good.
Parties every day between the 18th and the 1st of April. We partying every day.
Mike D, Chaplin and Selena, Short Corner Brothers. Yeah, you got the Bash Bros and they got the Short Corner Bros. Right, we're done.
Corners is a fucking bugbear as well, man. Can we get a good corner in?
No, we can't. Over 200 without a goal. Like every time we've got a corner towards the end of that game.
I've just seen Oliver Hayes' comment.
I know, it's great. I know. Thing is though, the corner situation. Every time we've got a corner towards the end of the game on Saturday, people were getting really excited around. I was thinking to myself, we don't score corners. What are you getting excited for?
I'd rather just give them the goal kick. Give them the goal kick. Let's get on with the game quicker.
It's ridiculous. I don't know how one team Cal is so bad at corners with so much quality we've got in the air with what you would think. I mean, that said, though, first half, I don't know what Luke Wolfenden was doing. He should have scored from that corner.
Yeah, he should have. And Backinson was unlucky second half with the headed at the back post.
Yeah.
They hit the side net in. It was just, again, this is what I was saying earlier about you look at if let's all be looking at the positives and all the rest of it, right? It's like, well, Morsy went off. We had a kind of a weakened team, a weakened midfield there. Strikers are misfiring at the moment. The informed striker goes off as well. And we still look the more likely to score. And actually, if there'd been another 5 or 10 minutes, probably would have.
Yeah. Oh, so yeah, we were firmly knocking on the door. Anyway, that was it. That was your Portsmouth final reaction to the weekend.
Danny Cowley's still a cunt. Still is. Sorry, Danny Cowley is a Coventry University network technician. Is that better?
Yeah, actually, I see.
Like
Yeah, you'll see Danny Cowley next Tuesday. Well, we're done with Dustin. Here's the king. He is the big fish, Tom James. I'm the Gov. This is Talking Town. Thank you for watching. Of course, check out Woodpecker Mortgages and Protection. If you're buses, go contact us, and you can support us on Ko-Fi. A new prediction league is open. We're done. We're out of here. So until midweek, with love, with care, we will see you all later.
We're on a journey, looking back on the things that we've taken for granted, but feels like we're learning to be better without what's been holding us back.